part 4 of diagnosis to DBS. My doctors. You've heard some about them, but I'll just let you know the gist of that. So my diagnosing doctor, although he did not prepare me for that diagnosis when he knew that I had it before I even had the DAT scan, he prescribed me the meds on my first visit and told me to start taking them, which I wasn't. I filled it, but I wasn't going to take them. Looking back, he knew. He knew, and he could have handled springing the diagnosis on me after my DAT scan a little bit better. He could have prepared me at that first visit. And he could have told me to follow up with him, which he didn't. I had to insist on that. You have to be your own advocate if you can still do it. Otherwise, give your spouse power of attorney if you trust them and have them take over to be your advocate because they love you. At least they're supposed to. So my first diagnosing doctor was just that, a neurologist. My first MDS, my next Parkinson's doctor, was in Austin, and she moved to Oklahoma, so she's no longer my DBS, my MDS. She was the one that was really strict and hard on me, and I have a nickname for her that she actually gave herself, but I won't say it on here. But she knew her shit. She knew she knew a lot, but she was also old school. So, when it came time to do my DBS, before I completely on board with it, I knew I was going forward with it, but didn't know who was going to do it. And I had to get reminded that she was the best around here. I didn't have to, jump through hoops to try to find a doctor in another state that took my insurance and all that, which I was trying to do at that time. Anyhow, I ended up going with her, and I'm so glad I did. She was very confident in what she did. She was very, some people would call that an ego because of her bad bedside manner and stuff, but she's very passionate, she's very knowledgeable, and she knows her shit. So that's the kind of surgeon or doctor or whatever that you want. I was very sad to see her go by the time all my DBS stuff was done. So my right side of my brain was my first surgery. A week later, I had the connector and the DBS put in, and that was in March 11th and March 18th. December 11th, December 18th, 2024. And then at my second setting appointment with my right side, and I went in January, and then I went in February, and it was on my birthday in February that my appointment was, the 11th, and she gave me a letter at that appointment saying that she was moving. And basically I told her, I don't care what you gotta tell insurance, get this other side done before you leave. I don't want anybody else touching my head. I want your team to do it. The neurosurgeon that she worked with, and her. I don't want anybody else. I'm not going to trust anybody else. It's going to take too long. Just get it done. And she pretty much answered me with, well, we don't know that side needs it yet. You can have, just one side done for like 10 years and not have to have the other side done. And I'm like, do whatever you got to do with insurance lingo. Just get it done before you leave. And 3 weeks later, I had it done in March 5th of 2024. And 3 weeks later, she said it for the first time, but I had to go in every 3 days for 9 days because I was having adverse effects for her setting that side, which technically I don't think should have been set, but who am I? I don't know. So she said it and she was gone. now I had made an appointment in February with my new MDS at UT San Antonio, UT Health. But that was 8 months away, and I hadn't had all my settings done. I wasn't right yet, and she didn't turn on the adaptive mode either. She was, like I said, old school. And so I had to have an interim doctor, an in-between doctor, before that appointment that was just this last October with UT Health. Well, that doctor, again, I have a nickname for him that I will not use here, because all in all, he was a really nice guy and everything. But yeah, and he was young. My mom liked him well enough for herself, but for the DBS, I kind of felt like I needed somebody else, because that's all he was about. It's like he would connect to my DBS, and it was like he was squaring up on a PlayStation game or Xbox or whatever, and he zoned out, and he didn't hear all my complaints about my meds now that I was had the DBS. My meds needed to be adjusted better, and he wasn't offering me, and wasn't even like addressing it at all. Just was refilling my old stuff. But I was still, even though the first MDS had lowered my meds after the surgeries, I was still having the side effects, the dyskinesia on a lower dose, and the low blood pressure, which I wasn't handling that. I don't want to live like that. I don't want to live sleeping all day yet. I'm not there yet, mentally, emotionally. So the third doctor was actually the second neurologist, and then I had to wait those 8 months going to him until I went to UT Health, where I went this last October. I think it was the 15th. Had my first appointment there, and man, she addressed everything immediately. She turned on adaptive mode. The other guy was doing adaptive mode, but I was always switching back to non-adaptive mode because I didn't feel right. I had started getting this bulging vein in my neck just on this one side, and it was a pulling sensation. My DBS is on this side. Right there is the cord. And my vein is still, on this side is a little protruding, but this one goes like all the way up. And I was feeling a pulling sensation, so I kept thinking it was the DBS causing it. So I would turn off adaptive mode and put it back on non-adaptive. And I just lived and I was taking myself off of my meds because I didn't like the way that they were feeling. It was making my life miserable again, and it made me question having the DBS, because I didn't get the care that I needed after the DBS, get all the settings correct and working to optimal levels or whatever. So I was frustrated with that in-between doctor. I was frustrated with the situation. I didn't do myself any favors taking myself off the meds. By the time I had gotten to my new MDS, I was taking a half a pill in the morning, and I was taking my Rytary at night, but all day long I was unmedicated. I was depressed. I didn't call it depression, but I had a I don't care attitude. It's mostly just because I'm tired. I'm just tired. I was just tired. I was tired of all of it. And I didn't do myself any favors taking myself off the meds. It was almost like I did it in retaliation of all the doctors not listening, but I wasn't doing it. It wasn't good for me. That was a bad move on my part. So the next lady, she took me off the immediate release carbidopa levodopa, generic cinnamon. I don't know how to pronounce that. And she put me on Crexont, the lowest dose. And since October, I have gone from 1 pill to 4. I take 1 at 6 a.m., 2 at noon, and 1 at 6 p.m. 6 a.m., 6 p.m., and then 2 in the middle of the day at noon. And then I still take my Rytary when I go to bed at night between around 9 and 10 o'clock. I started doing taking gummies again, cannabis, pretty much if needed, not really on a regular basis, in gummy or candy form in the evening, because I found, and you may not know this, I just learned it recently, there's two strains. Sativa is for energy and focus and daytime use pretty much, and indica is nicknamed in the couch. These are all THC stuff. Indica is where I'm at because I was taking it before my diagnosis for sleep, for stress, for anxiety, and basically just take it at night so I can go to sleep, turn off my brain, shut it down, and stay asleep. And then I stopped taking it when I went to that first MDS because she didn't believe in it. And she gave me all these scientific reasons why not to take it. But then the other doctors weren't on board with that. So once she was gone, I started doing that again, but only at night to help me sleep. I wasn't ever a horrible sleeper, but I couldn't shut down my head, my brain, to go to sleep. I could pretty much stay up all night if I wanted to, if I didn't have anything to help me sleep. Anyhow, when this neck thing started happening after the second neurologist, the intermittent, the in-between doctor was setting these, both sides and stuff with the technician's help, that's when this pulling sensation had started after my surgeries. And they put me on like a not anxiety. Yeah, it was a Xanax, which was only as needed. Again, I don't take that. I don't even take it at all right now, but I was given it back then. And a muscle relaxer. I was sent to a cardiologist. I was sent to a I was sent to the vascular doctor, not the cardiologist. Anyhow, they can't explain this thing, but I'm not having that pulling sensation anymore. My shoulder, my collarbone felt like it was being pushed back or held down or something, and I had a pulling sensation from behind my ear all the way down to there. And this vein is the only physical proof besides my collarbones not being even now. This one sticks out more than this one. This one's like being pulled back. So, new doctor, she's awesome. She's great with my Medtronic device, the adaptive mode. My technician that works alongside her is great also. They're a really good team. Her nurse practitioner is awesome. I hope that they all kind of stay put for a little while so I can keep going there. My mom's going to start going there even though she didn't mind the last doctor. So having to switch doctors was hard and very stressful. Had I known what I know now, I could have called the new doctor and said, hey, could you fit me in because nobody knows how to set this thing and all I know how to do is charge it. And they probably could have seen me sooner than 8 months. I didn't know that I I had that option, so I waited it out. And this last Monday, I went for another appointment because I've seen her 4 times, seen her office 4 times since October, just to make sure everything's good. And now I don't have to see her again until July. But she has addressed meds. She has addressed my DBS, and now she's addressing what I know now is depression. I'm not quite back mentally, emotionally to where I was before my DBS, and I told her that, and I read her a text that I had sent my husband the night before that appointment, and she said it sounded depressed, and I agreed because I'd get my red nose and my eyes would start tearing up when I read it. Basically, it was like I'm fighting. I'm still in here, and I'm fighting, and I'm getting I'm getting that feeling again right now. I just need encouragement and I need understanding because I don't feel like I'm in control anymore. This and my meds are in control. And so she put me on Lexapro, which I haven't gotten yet. We'll see how that goes. She says that serotonin uptake is also something that Parkinson's inhibits. I don't know if I'm using all the right words. Epinephrine, I think that's the other word she used. All of these, not just your dopamine, are affected by Parkinson's. All these things are. And she feels that she's hopeful that the Lexapro will just be a little band-aid for a little bit to get me over the hill, to get me back into, working out and walking and doing more so that I can, what's left of whatever dopamine I have left naturally will be put to good use and I'll feel like I did before the surgeries. So I'm hoping that this will change this and help me get through every day because I have been depressed since all my surgeries. I'm actually kind of angry at this point also because all I had to endure in the last 3.5 years since my diagnosis, it's been a roller coaster, and I'm pretty pissed about it right now too. So I just need to get out of this little funk that I'm in. Hopefully the meds will help me. I've never had to take them before. And when I did, I had, bad side effects. I never took Lexapro though. So hopefully it's the lowest dose, the lowest form of it. And it will just get me over this hump and maybe help me start enjoying life again and participating in life again. Because my husband's coming home and retiring, and I want to have some fun before this all goes away. So that's another part to my diagnosis to DBS portion of my videos. I hope this helps somebody else. I'm also going to be starting a health coach that is free to me from the Parkinson's Foundation through my doctor. I'll let you know how that goes and if I continue it because I really don't like therapists, counselors, health coach. I have like this, I don't know. I don't feel like I'm a weak person. And I have this stigma to that kind of help because I've had some bad experiences with it. So, but I'm willing to give it a try because I need a little help to get out of this and be here for as long as I could be here for my family. I love y'all. Thanks for listening. Thanks. I went over my time again. I'm trying to keep these to under 15 minutes. This is me, uncut, unscripted, unfiltered, and that was just about all the docs that I've had over the last 3.5 years. So thank you very much for listening. Comment, questions. It'll help me with my next video if there's something that I haven't addressed. I would like to cover it all. And eventually I'll get to my DBS surgeries, which are pretty cool stories. Can't wait to share them with you. Thank you for listening. Have a great weekend. Rest of the weekend. Bye.